welcome back to the Out of the Desert podcast, episode 3. I am Ryan Harrington, and this is Bryan Evans. Very excited to be here, big city of Waycross, Georgia, today. Yeah. After you made the trek to Donaldsonville, 3 hours and like 15 minutes later.
Yeah, that's a little drive.
Bunch of red lights, bunch of little small towns, you know. And so we made the trek back over to Waycross today because today we're going to be talking about Bryan's story. We had my story last time, you know, and kind of raw. Raw. Yeah. I think next week we're going to do like a recap session, kind of talk about some things, maybe rephrase some things maybe. No, not really rephrase, probably more so just kind of touch on, this is kind of what we've learned. This is where we've been and some things that jumped out at us from our stories. And so, so yeah, before we jump in, can we talk about the Super Bowl? That was terrible, man. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I'm pretty sure our high school football team could have played better than the Patriots did during the Super Bowl.
Well, the thing I like about it though is our hometown guy Ernest Jones, like he racked it up.
He did
11 tackles. Like I was in it for him. So he had a good game. So
he did.
Other than that though,
he also had a great clapback on Twitter.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so it was very good, and I'm not going to quote what he said because, you know, we're a faith-based podcast here. But that was a wide receiver for the Rams because, you know, they're division rivals, Seahawks and the Rams, making fun of Sam Darnold, who is a quarterback for the Seahawks, kind of a journeyman. You know, he's on his 5th team, like in 6 years. You know, kind of maybe he's found himself now. You know, and this wide receiver for the Rams tweets. It was like Sam Darnold, like making fun of him kind of thing. So Ernest Jones, the game's over, tweets back at him and says, "Hey, fam, ain't you sitting at home? Why don't you shut your..." And I was like, well then. So
well said.
Ernest Jones from Ware County.
Oh, yeah.
Put the Rams wide receiver on blast.
Put in his place.
Yeah, that was crazy. I know before we jumped on, we was talking about Chris Hemsworth and Alexa Plus. I can say I'm officially scared of AI now. I'm not swimming near anything that can control. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about all that at this point. So
I like AI, but in moderation. Like for certain things, like I watched a movie a while back. Is the whole house is AI? Yeah, that's not going to be me. Like,
yeah,
I can promise you right now.
It's like I was talking like we're headed towards Star Wars. You know, I need my C-3PO. Hello there, master. You know, it's like, what? You know, then I will turn into Darth Vader, and it's like, you will shut up now. You know, so
switch off.
Yes, switch off. You want to switch? You know, pull the lightsabers out. You know, so anyhow, enough of that. Good times. So we're talking about to your story, man, and I know a little bit of it because I mean we've known each other forever, known your family a lot. Then I kind of went off into ministry, and we kind of didn't see each other a lot. So a lot happened, and I know when you was talking to me about some things, I was like, wow, man, I didn't realize some stuff that you had. So I guess let's start from the beginning. You know, let's kind of start what kind of led you into this desert journey that you had?
Well, I guess that going back, it all started back. We had a similar church experience, similar experience growing up in the same denomination. I won't rehash a lot of that because a lot of your story with the same ideologies we were kind of floating around there. But yeah, so just kind of from that, my dad became a youth pastor, became a pastor eventually. Youth pastor days, it was kind of really, I felt at church camp, I felt the call that God told me was like, you're going to be in ministry one day. It's one of the big altar call things. If you feel like you'd be led to go into ministry, come forward, we'll pray for you. And so I did that. And I really felt like God was telling me, I want you to be in ministry, reaching people for me, helping people for me. And so that kind of kicked off that whole thought process of, okay, well, my dad's a youth pastor. I'm going to learn as much as I can because one day I'll be a youth pastor.
That's what I'm supposed to do.
Right, that's what I'm supposed to do. So I went to all the conferences, all the all the newsletters, or email newsletters you get, stuff like that. I watched all the videos I could find. That was pre-YouTube days, but I watched everything I could find, all the DVDs and VHS
which shows how much you really wanted to do this or
Yeah.
try to do this because it wasn't a touch, just you two. How do you be it? You know,
You want to just how to be a youth pastor?
Yeah.
You gotta go find the stuff and,
That's
and
right.
watch it. But yeah, so it kind of the first big shift for me came when we moved from Hazelhurst actually to Waycross. It was right after my 7th grade year, before my 8th grade year that summer. My dad had taken a church over here as youth pastor, his first paid youth pastor position, and so yeah, we moved over here. And growing up, like in school and stuff, like I was a smart guy. Like I was like I had all the answers. People came to me if they need help on the homework, asking me to cheat on their homework for them. Like, I don't want to do it the first time. I'm not doing it twice. I'm just saying. I'm sorry.
Right.
But so I was the guy. Not saying I'm the smartest, but a lot of people knew me as the smart guy. Like so I didn't have a lot of friends, and that's not any knock on anybody. It was just the truth. I mean, I'm very much introverted. I'm that kind of person who goes out and looks for friends all the time.
Yeah.
I'm a little more inclined to now on this side of things, but especially not back then. Like I didn't. So moving to Waycross was a little exciting because it was something new, something fresh, new people, new town, new church, all the new things.
Blank slate. Right?
Blank slate, yeah. And so getting here, I immediately connected with a couple of good friends. My friend Paul, we're still friends this day. He lives in North Carolina now, but we still call and text as much as we can. We need to hook up again, Paul. We hadn't talked in a while. But yeah, like we still stay in contact. So like that's when my lifelong friendships really started. You're probably the closest person I have from those earlier days. Yeah. Which it was age together. So it wasn't like when we were in school together necessarily.
Yeah. No, there's like I said, like the first episode, only like 6 or 7 years difference around there. Yeah. But you know, the age difference for sure.
But beyond that, I started kind of finding my rhythm a little bit, kind of getting comfortable, kind of learning all the things about being a preacher's kid, being a youth pastor one day, that sort of thing. And very much learning the way of God as told by what I learned in church, in this denomination. When you're at church camp, I met a cute little blonde-haired girl.
They'll get you every time.
Just a few months older than I am, so older woman. Like
look at you, man! Come on,
like 7 months older, and she's gonna love
shoot
that
your
part,
shot.
by the way.
There you go. Thought about that later. Like you just called your wife old.
Well, older. I look much older than she does, but
yes.
We actually met in high school. I didn't realize we went to the same church camp or anything, and I guess that's probably the best thing that denomination ever did for me is we kind of reconnected. Or at church camp over the summer, and like, hey, I know you from school. Yeah, I know you from school. What are you doing here? That whole sort of thing. So we started dating, and so yeah, things were kind of rolling. And then graduated high school, and I decided I'm the smart guy. I know what I'm doing. I was in band. I was in band because
look at you.
We didn't practice on Wednesdays. We practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
That's right.
Somehow American is more godly than
Stanley was more godly, man. That's what it was.
But yes, I played trombone all through middle school and high school. Was apparently good enough where I got a scholarship to go play at Valdosta State and the marching band and all the band stuff over there. So I was like, well, I really like music. I really like teaching. You can go get a degree in like Christian studies and things, but I'm like, well, I always back of my head is like, I need a backup plan, like just in case this doesn't work out. I don't like getting in front of people and talking. Like I'm not the stage charismatic like stage guy. Like that's not me. I don't like talking on the stage. It's hard enough getting in front of a camera to talk, much less be on stage. But yeah, so I go off to Valdosta State, and it was like kind of this big thing. It was like, yeah, I'm going off doing my own thing. Yeah, I'm like excited to leave the house and become a man, and get over there, and I mean, immediately like just overloaded. Yeah, like and I later found out they have one of the hardest music programs that there is in the whole state. Wow. And because they want to make sure if you can make it through that, you can make it through any teaching job. So it makes sense. But I didn't realize that at the time. Had a huge load of classes. And about midway through the semester, I started really battling with what I didn't realize then, but now I know it was depression. Yeah. I quit going to class. I pretty much quit eating. barely left my dorm room except for when I actually came. I'd put on a good, happy face because I'm
Sure.
like, yeah, I'm having a great time over here. And everything's great.
Right.
My parents would come, yeah, I'm loving it. It's a great time. We go to football games. I'm a man.
Doing my thing. Yeah.
Just having so much fun.
Yeah.
And but it came to a point where by Christmas time, Christmas break, I was like, I'm dying inside. I've got this isn't working. Talked to my parents about it, and they're like, yes. And this is how bad I got. I got an A in marching band. Okay, I was not a Miss Marching Band. I love marching band. I got a C in English 1102. Pretty much quit going every other class. I had a 0.83 GPA my first semester.
Wow, dude, that's some talent, man.
That's got to be a record.
I mean, that took some talent to get that.
And so
I'm impressed you still remember that all these years later.
It's burned in the back of my head because I read on the paper. I'm like, is that even possible? How does that work out mathematically?
Wow.
Like, here's a smart guy graduated 22nd in my class with a 94 average GPA or 94 average and 0.83 GPA my first semester in college. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
And so that crushed me because I'm like, I'm the smart guy that has all the answers and that this is my thing. This is what I do.
Yeah.
And so I talked to my parents about it, and they said, yeah, it's probably best for you to come back home. That's probably a good plan.
So where's your faith in this right here? Because you were talking about depression and then kind of obviously losing your way kind of thing. And then prior to doing this, you're thinking, I'm going to be a youth pastor. I'm going to be in ministry. This is the backup plan. Mm-hmm. Seems like the backup plan is making you depressed on top of some other things that are happening. So like, where's God in this for you?
Well, and that was part of the problem because I went from being involved like every single time the doors were open, I was there.
Yeah.
Like Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, revival nights, like anything going on. Like I was there, usually serving in some kind of way.
Yeah.
But I was pretty much there, and you go from that environment where everything is like you're always going, you're always moving, to where the church I connected with immediately is a small college church plant sort of thing. Like we had our meeting space was like in one of those meeting facilities where you rent by the week. Some great people there, but like I wasn't with my people. Like the couple of people I knew that were from Hazelhurst that we kind of hang out and everything. So I had people there that I knew, but it was very shallow relationships. It wasn't like people that like my community, my people around me.
Yeah.
They probably could have become that, but I just wasn't there long enough for that to happen. Yeah. Which is anytime I talk to a teenager about going into college, that's one thing I like. Make sure you have your people around you that can help get you through whatever you need to go through. So it kind of like I was still going to. We had just a Wednesday night, what's our weekly thing. When I could come home on Sundays, which is only like an hour and a half drive. I could come home on Sundays when I could. But then even that though, I wasn't able to be as involved as I wanted to be and all that sort of stuff. So my faith. Even though I would say I was a Christian, I say I went to church, my faith very much started to diminish. Yeah. And I think that was a whole piece of it too. It was just I didn't have that, like any of the foundation that I had around me, like it was all gone. Yeah. And my GPA was so bad, I had to write a letter to Waycross College here. It was Waycross College before it became South Georgia State College.
Back in the day.
Saying, hey, I really want to transfer here. I know this looks bad, like academically. But if you'll give me a chance,
I'm more than my .83.
Yeah, look at my high school transcript. Like that's better. I got a bunch of AP classes, honors classes. Yeah. Like look at that. Don't look at this. This is a fluke.
This never happened.
And graciously they let me in. So I did come back here, and so that was kind of that was my first look at like, hey, things aren't all right. Yeah. But I still was like, okay, well, I'm still forging ahead. Those is nothing like serious. I just got back on my feet, ready to go.
Kind of pushed to the side.
Yeah. And then, well, as a matter of fact, the day this episode drops will be February 19th. Okay. That day marks 19 years since I almost did not make it through a vehicle accident. Wow. I was riding with my fiance then. I proposed to her over Christmas. It was a whole thing. It was beautiful. And then like 2 months later, we're leaving Walmart to go to her house. And there's an intersection you kind of go up under some railroad tracks. It's next to Food Line. If you're from Waycross, you'll know this intersection well. To go past Food Line to cross Plant Avenue here. And a semi coming into town never hit his brakes.
Wow.
They estimate he's going 48 to 52 miles per hour. Just T-boned us on my side. She was driving. I was passenger side. And I turned and looked, saw the truck coming, looked back at her, and we were just goofing off. We were laughing. The light had turned green. The car ahead of us went. She started to go. I looked, see the truck coming. I'm like, okay, he's going to stop. Look at her, say something, turn back, and all of a sudden his grill was right there outside the window.
Wow.
And all I had time to say was, I screamed, baby, and I like they always tell you in a car accident you want to like be, like, but I turned, like, I felt like part of me was trying to shield her for the best I could. From whatever. But thankfully that they said that at the very least, like I walked away with no broken bones somehow.
Wow.
By the grace of God.
Yeah.
Had EMTs on the scene telling me like, hey man, we've seen stuff way worse than this. They didn't walk away from it. They didn't come out of it. And I'm like, thanks. Yeah.
You're like in the moment, you're like, what?
Yeah. Like,
not many people can say I got hit by a semi.
Yeah.
And I'm still here.
So there's that. So,
yeah.
And thankfully, Newell's had severe injuries. She has some back injuries, some back stuff she still deals with, but it's nothing debilitating, thankfully.
Right.
It could have been a whole lot worse. I mean,
absolutely.
And in that moment, I remember I saw the grill of the truck right there outside my window. I turned. There's several minutes there. I don't even have any recollection of it. I don't know if I was unconscious, if it was, I don't know what, but I just heard this voice in the back of my head saying, "It's not your time."
Wow.
I remember I opened my eyes and my glasses have flown off, so everything's blurry. I just see smoke everywhere. The dash is all crumpled up, and I'm sitting sideways in the seat, and the door's like pinned against my legs, and I'm like, "Did that just happen?" Yeah, right. And so his voice like, "It's not your time." And I look around and like there's nobody there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, God, is that you?
Yeah.
But then looking back over that, I remember talking to my parents about it later because we actually had lunch with them or breakfast with them that morning. And my mom told me, she's like, she said, I pray over you and Brett all the time.
Wow.
But just something told me, like, as you were walking out the doors to go off about your day, I said, Jesus, watch over him.
Yeah.
And you hear about praying mamas and praying grandmamas in church growing up.
Yeah.
And, but that made me a believer of the power of prayer
real.
that day. Yeah.
It's real.
It's real.
So you're coming up kind of feeling like I'm supposed to do this ministry. Mm-hmm. And then you're also really good at cheating at school. I mean, doing good grade school. You're doing great in school. Valdosta State was kind of like a wake up call of, wow, I've left the island, so you come back home, sold out to the Lord, this thing happens. And so, where do you feel like you're in the desert at this point, or is this all kind of leading you into the sand here?
It's very much leading you to the sand. I feel like things weren't really bad. I mean, things seemed good.
Sure.
Now, hindsight looking back, I know that I thought I was walking on the stone.
Yeah.
But I was walking on the sand the whole way. But the illusion around me, the mirage around me was nice looking. Like I'm going the right way. I'm doing the right things. And so just kind of fast forward a little bit. My dad became a pastor in 2010. As his first time, he is one of those things where he'd been a youth pastor for a long time.
Yeah.
Built youth ministries up. There was a church that needed somebody to come in. Apparently you were taken somewhere. You were busy building another church.
Yeah. 2010. I was in Perry. Yeah. Was building that. Yeah. Because I think we actually came and did something at your dad's church, jumping ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he rebuilt that. So yeah.
And along with that, him being a pastor now, I was like, hey, well, you're a youth pastor, right? I've been doing all this training, I've been learning all this stuff, like following your footsteps. Like, it's my time to shine, buddy. Let's do this.
I've arrived.
So he made me his youth pastor. It's my first time ever being like the guy.
Yeah.
And it was good. Like I had some great kids, great students, some of which I still talk to this day. I mean, so they still hang around, still talk to them when I can. And then, but through that though, like I was working at trying to build this youth ministry up. Had some success in it, building it up, but it just felt like something was missing still.
Sure.
I'm like, okay, well, I got this thing I wanted, and it's not all it. Like, there's something missing. So in the meantime, after about a year, another couple started coming to church, really passionate with students. around the time that actually I got married, we decided, okay, well, let's the other couple take care of the youth pastors. We'll take care of the children's pastors. Went all into it. She went to school to be a teacher. Wow. Got an early childhood degree, so she knew how to draw the lesson plans and stuff, how to make a full curriculum of this thing. So we had this. I mean, it's a pretty awesome curriculum, I think, looking back. But and it was good in what we were doing, but still, it was just like, this is great, but it's still just something missing.
Something's missing inside of you.
And
did she see that in you? Or were you kind of masking that from everybody?
I kind of masked it from everybody. I learned very quickly growing up that, and it may not necessarily have been said, but this is what I processed and what I heard, that if you have problems as a leader, as a minister, you have those problems, because if they are shown in daylight, it's a weakness. To grab a hold of and tear you down. I feel you. Yeah. And so thankfully, I think the church has come a long way in helping deal with that, especially in mental health issues and stuff like that. And I'm grateful for that. But at the time, and she came in from the same denomination we did, so I think she's used to the same sort of things. So she saw the same things I did, saw it the same way I did at the time, and so she didn't necessarily, I don't think, realize that. If she did, she hasn't told me yet. And we'll talk about this afterwards. But we both just did the best we could in building a children's ministry. And so then after a while, we came back to Waycross. We spent 3 years outside of Waycross, came back to home. My dad took a church here in Waycross. I followed as youth pastor again. And I won't tell a lot of the story because it's mostly his to tell. But this is when things kind of started coming to a head, where promises that were made on us coming here to once again build up a church that we had been at before, but it was going downhill, to try and save the church from closing. So promises were made by people that I very much respected, looked up to. You go to conferences and things, and they're put up on a pedestal like, this is a man of God. And no, I'm not going to go so far as to say he's not and wasn't, but the decisions he made were not, the dots didn't connect.
So there were politics involved.
Yeah, a lot of politics involved. That's
so politics, and I know that's what I dealt with a bunch. In different churches, and again, it's his story to tell. But I know when I was talking to your dad some about this stuff, we had a lot of conversations about promises made. If you'll do this, we'll do this, and then I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I think maybe that those people probably meant that at the beginning. But then a better option, a more flamboyant option came available, and it made more dollars and cents. And then, behind those political decisions, there's real people, real families, real hearts, and things. And so you end up getting ran over, and that's kind of,
that's true. That's the truth.
That's where you probably landed, right?
Oh yeah. And for my seat in it, just seeing the way the whole deal was handled. Literally, we told that, like, you need to move over to this church we want you to go to, or you can turn your license and you're done. I mean,
escalated pretty quickly.
It got there pretty quick. And he still felt a connection to Waycross. Still felt like this was home. And we all felt the same way. Our whole family did. But that just wasn't an option. And so he made a decision that he stepped down as pastor, turned his license in, and he still felt called to be a minister, to preach the gospel. So we go and plant another church here in town. And at first, it was great, because a lot of people that had come to church before that fallen away started coming because they knew who we were. Some people had kind of fallen out from the denomination. Like, okay, well, they're not part of this. We'll come here. But the whole time inside of me, it was just seeing the way he had to struggle through that, had to deal with all that, and the letdown he felt and that he showed, and just seeing him go through that. It's like, this is my dad. This is like my super
hero, man.
Yeah, I'm a hero. And to see him, just the people that he thought he could turn to, and he's supposed to have his back, all of a sudden they're the ones that, like, you just whatever. What we say is what matters. And so you mentioned deconstructing in the last episode. You kind of deconstruct some things while you're pastoring, and that's really what it's kind of become a buzzword now. And the thing about deconstructing, and I know this is what you were doing too, but the thing about deconstructing is as you tear down, you have to build back up with something else.
You do.
So many people and people I know, friends of mine, they have deconstructed from the Christian faith, but they've not built back up with anything.
Right.
And so if you tear down a house and you don't build anything back, then you're gonna be left out in the cold.
Yeah.
In the weather,
Yeah.
like it's a bad, miserable place to be. For me, like that was that whole. And I didn't have a label for it yet, but that was that whole thing. I was like, okay, well, I was taught these things, and that's where I really learned as far as like applying things to Scripture, see what stands up.
Yeah.
I was like, I was taught this thing. Like, why is this a thing we were taught? And either check it at Scripture, okay, we get that checks out, or there were some things that's just like, well, there's no Scripture to back this up.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one kind of loosely, you can make it sound kind of like that, but you put it in context.
I was going to say, it's out of context. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And
so I really struggled with that the whole time. And so we planted the church. Things were going well to begin with. I to this day, I don't know like what happened. There were rumors floating around about the way things were handled when we left the other church. Rumors about like the way we started this church. Like, I still don't know exactly the reason why, but people just started falling away.
I think the term we loosely used to use was the golf cart mafia.
Yeah, yeah.
There was a science to this thing of, if you didn't play the game, then not only were you removed, but your memory was removed as well.
Yeah.
And it's like it wasn't just enough to make the change. It's like we have to just pretend like this guy's ministry never even happened.
Yeah.
And to do that, sometimes you start saying, well, he did this and he did that, and it's completely unfounded. And I know your dad went through a lot of that. And you watch that. What's that doing to you? Obviously this is your hero. You had this idea of I'm called into ministry too. And you're studying the Scripture and stuff. So, I guess at this point, are you seeing that this is not quite a mirage? I think I'm in a place that's scary. I don't know what to do now. Or
I'm starting to look around and see more dunes around.
Yeah.
It's less like lush tropical trees and more dunes around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on, what's happening?
Yeah. How do we get here?
Yeah. So looking back now, I know a lot of it was like being the guy with the answers, being the smart guy. It followed me. And like that was my thing. That was my shtick. That was my title.
Yeah.
I'm the smart guy.
Yeah. I figured this out.
Yeah, I figured this out. Part of it was that I was like, well, I can't figure this out, and that ate at me.
Yeah.
And then there was part of it was like, okay, well, my identity was so wrapped up in my label and my title and what I was. Because in church I became the discipleship director, helping to oversee like the Wednesday night programs and stuff like that we did. While also in my secular job, I've been working at in a warehouse here in town. Because being a discipleship director doesn't pay the bills. Like, I was not paid whatsoever to do that.
Right.
So I had to have a secular job. I had to have a job that actually made money and paid the bills. And so in that, I was working my way up I started out just working in the warehouse. Okay, well, I became where I kind of ran the warehouse. I'm the warehouse manager now.
Sure.
So it got to the point where I kept ended up becoming basically like if the owner wasn't there, I was the guy that was there.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm the store manager now. Like that was my label. I'm the store manager now.
Yeah.
And so I was store manager there and chasing these titles in church, discipleship director and stuff like that. And then coming into 2017, my dad calls a family meeting, what he call it. He bring us all together. We sit down and he told us then that he started having some health issues. I think a lot was based around anxiety.
Sure.
And of course that can manifest in physical ways.
Yeah.
And so he told us he made a decision after praying about it and everything that he's going to we're going to close the church. Mm-hmm. By that time, you started coming. You were leading worship for us.
Yeah.
We're having our good creed sing-along days.
Right. That's right. They were good. They were good.
They're very, very, very good.
That we kind of mentioned this last episode. I'll say it again, man. Your dad was walking through hell.
Yeah.
Your family was walking through hell.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking through hell. And, I resigned my church in May, and the very next Sunday, I'm at y'all's church. Mm-hmm. Your dad calls me, and he's like, where are you going Sunday? and in the middle of him fighting and trying to not lose hope himself, he's calling me and he's like, I want you to be in church with me Sunday. I'm like, dude, I ain't coming to church right now, man. I'm so done out.
Probably the last place you want to be.
It really was. And it wasn't even, and he told me this, and he's like, I want you to come lead worship. And I was like, it's like, dude, there's no way, man. I said, do you know how many people's going to trash you and talk about you if you have me on the stage leading worship? And your dad, I remember he's like, let him. Let him. Come on. Maybe you're David in the Psalms, you've really messed up some stuff, but come and I remember for whatever happened, and your dad had to step away from the church. And I remember him telling me that decision as well after he obviously talked with you guys. That period of time from like June to January for me, probably saved my life in a lot of ways, that your family just were there, and hearing you talking about the pain and stuff y'all were facing. And I never would have known that, man. I mean, your dad told me some stuff, but that's how, committed your family was to this ministry and to the people. And that's just kudos to y'all, man. And then you're dealing with this internally the whole time.
Yeah. That whole season, I think, and I was on such shaky ground with God, like between trying to deconstruct everything and figure out, okay, what's actually you and what's just people talking outside their face.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the things I had already seen God do in my life, in our lives, it probably would have been a very different outcome.
Yeah.
But the accident back in 2007.
Yeah.
That was just always the back of my head. We used to not so much celebrate, but just remember every February 19th. Like, hey, it's another year. I'm alive another year.
Should be dead, but Lord saved us.
Yeah, and then 2014, Ashley's pregnant. My wife's pregnant. Yeah. She's diabetic, so she'd always been told growing up, like, well, you probably shouldn't have kids. It's not gonna be very healthy. It's gonna be a rough pregnancy. All this stuff. So we were really fearful about that for a long time, until we finally found a good doctor that said, well, no, we'll just watch her take good care of you. Like, it's going to be fine. Yeah. And we prayed about it, and I knew in my heart I was supposed to be a dad. She knew she was supposed to be a mom. And so we found out she's pregnant, and pregnancy through the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, I mean, mostly flawless. Like, of course, there were some things she felt, but like not a whole lot of sickness, not a whole lot of like anything. So it was like, okay, this is going great. Yeah. And so getting close to about 8 weeks out from her due date, she starts having a lot of Braxton Hicks contractions. We went to the hospital probably 3 or 4 times in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah. False labor and stuff. Well, then she gets 6 weeks out, and she's assistant manager TJ Maxx here in Waycross, and she comes home to work and she's just tired and starts having contractions again, and I'm like, "Are you good? We need to go." She's like, "No, it's Braxton Hicks again. Like, it's been happening all day." Yeah. I'm like, happening all day. She's all like, day. Well, it's like it's very far apart. They're very far apart. Okay. Well, I just need to lay down and take a nap. I don't feel so good. Okay. So she had a contraction. Finally lay down. Fell asleep. 3 minutes later, I hear in pain again. Go in there, another contraction. I said, we need to get to the hospital. Yeah. Because that's 3 minutes. She's like, no, it's been like 15. It's been 3 minutes since your last contraction. Yeah. We're going to the hospital.
Good call, Dad.
So we get to the hospital. She's 6 weeks early. The hospital here won't deliver that early, so they send us off to Savannah like midnight at this time. Yeah. So we text our parents, text everybody like that. I'm like, hey, we're heading to Savannah. They said we're going to have a baby today. We'll see when we get there. And so we get to Savannah, and immediately her body starts going downhill. Wow. She develops preeclampsia, HELLP syndrome, all the scary things you don't want to hear about.
Exactly.
When you're diabetic trying to have a baby. Yeah. And so it was to the point where the doctor started talking to me about, like, you need to think about what you want to do if it comes to saving one or the other.
Wow.
And
Like, how do you prepare for that, right?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna have a baby. Like we're gonna have a baby
joy,
girl.
and then might lose my wife.
It's crazy, and so as the morning comes, like they're running tests and everything. It's a teaching hospital, so I don't follow them completely, but they're trying to run tests, trying to teach your students, hey, this is how you deal with HELLP syndrome. How to deal with that. And me and Ashley's mom and her sister especially, we're about ready to like grab Dr. by the collar and like, get this baby out of her.
That's right.
But we keep our cool for the most part. And but so they're worried about our little girl's lungs being developed enough, being 6 weeks early. They're worried about all these different things with her. Worried about Ashley's health, and finally they made a decision. Okay, well, hey, we need to go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
So they rush her back, bring in, I think it said 12 different specialists for just for Lily, our baby.
Wow.
Lung specialists, heart specialists, like just in case anything happens during delivery, like they're right there ready to go.
Right.
Which of course, as a dad waiting to your baby is like, well, this is scary.
A little scary, a little bit.
They bring me in there to stand by Ashley's head. They're got the sheet up. They're working.
Yep.
And I looked around, and the specialists are just lining the walls all the way around the room, while the nurses and the doctor and surgeon are doing their thing. I'm looking at Ashley, and first she's got the epidural. Like she's fine.
She's having a great day.
She feels great.
Like, feel a little pressure, but I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm just getting cut open here.
Yeah. So I just keep looking at her and just smiling at her, and she's smiling back at me or thing. And about the time I hear the cry.
Yeah.
And like my eyes immediately fill with water. Her Ashley's eyes fill with water. She goes, "Is that her?" I'm like, "That's her, baby."
Yeah.
I hear the cries. From some corner of the room, I hear the lung specialist go, "Well, you don't need me." He walks out the room, brings some levity to the situation. I really appreciate that. Really needed that. But yeah, they quickly rushed her out to get her cleaned up. Wasn't really a whole lot of time. They gave me just enough time to snip the umbilical cord and take a picture. And they said, "Okay, we gotta get her." Got her cleaned up, rushed her straight to the NICU for the next several days. Like she had to stay in the NICU unit. But she kept getting better and better, and finally, they're both in the hospital for about a week. It actually took a long time for her body to recover. Thankfully, it didn't get so dire that I had to make those kind of decisions where it's definitely. Like, what you going to do?
Yeah.
But just seeing God come through that was just another example of like him saying, "Okay, I'm here, I'm at work."
So God's proven Himself to you,
right? And so if it wasn't for those two instances specifically, then the whole. Like my whole faith shattering season in 2017, 2018, I don't know what would happen.
Yeah.
And so, at this point, like we closed the church. I've actually got some videos of that last day we had together.
Yeah. Had a great blowout service.
Oh, yeah, great
hour and a half worship, I think. So that was fun. Dude, I'm telling you, man. I miss playing music with y'all. Oh yeah. I mean, I do. I miss it so bad. Like we just jailed, man. Yeah. It was so much fun. So much fun. I know we joked about like afterwards, well, let's get a band, get on the road, man. And I'm like, dude, I'm old and married. I got kids now. It's like, you're old and married, got kids now. What are we doing, man? It's like, we're not the Rolling Stones.
The tour life is not for me.
It just wasn't, but there's still a rock star inside of me, man. I want to do it so bad. Oh.
And we had a great celebration. It was like literally that day, that evening. It was kind of like, okay, well, what now? Yeah. Yeah. And
because life has always been like, okay, this is the next step. This is the next step. And now it's done. There's not a new church to go to. There's not a new ministry thing to do.
And I came to the conclusion, I talked actually about it later that week, and I came to the conclusion, I'm like, you know what? I need a break. Yeah. And I don't know if it's just from church or if it's from God too. Yeah. Because he did some cool things, but I don't. Where's he at in all this? Like, this is supposed to be him that told us to go somewhere else when we thought it was supposed to be here. Yeah. It's supposed to be him that was leading us to do this, to plant this church, and this church is gone now. Yeah. And my dad, who I've been following, he's stepping away from ministry, retiring. I was like, so now what?
Yeah.
I mean, and so I told her, like, I said, well, here's, I say we take a year. We don't go to church anywhere.
Yeah.
We sit at home. We enjoy our Sundays.
Yeah.
So we've put in enough time in work in church for all these years. I think we're due a year without church. And I talked to her later. She didn't agree with it. She didn't want to do it, but she said, okay, that's what we're gonna do. And so that was very beginning of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And so a couple weeks later, she came home and she said, look, she came home from work. She said, look, I know what you said about not going to church for a year.
That's when you know it's fitting to happen, right?
Yeah. I was
Your wife comes home and says, look, or my wife always says, I have a question. And it's like, oh, man, here we go, you know.
I'm like, it's been 2 weeks.
That's just like,
there's 50 more weeks to go. Give me 50 more weeks.
That's right. I asked for a year. You know, there are 52.
But she said, look, my friend Chelsea, who works with me, she's been begging, like talking to me for a long time, wanting me to go to her church and everything. Yeah. And she's been asking me, and now that she knows we're not going to church anywhere, why'd you tell her that? Just get some more fuel to.
That's right.
She wants to come to her church one time just to come and see what it's like. I'm like, okay, next Sunday we'll go one time just to shut her up, get her off your back. Chelsea, I love you.
Chelsea's awesome.
Chelsea's awesome. Yeah, still her husband, I still talk to them.
Yeah,
very regular too.
They were part of the Joshua Tree family as well.
Yeah, Joshua Tree family.
So,
and okay, we'll go one Sunday. What could one Sunday hurt? We got dressed. We went to Destination Church. I'd heard of it. Didn't know a lot about it. Mm-hmm. I knew it wasn't of a denomination, which I was like, hey,
okay, that's a plus.
I like that, yeah, that's a plus. And just walking in there, and everything I saw was what we wanted our church to be.
Yeah.
When Dad planted our church, and it was all the things we wanted to do, like they're doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's a plus.
Yeah.
Then we happened to come into the middle of a message series about worth fighting for. It was the name of the series. And so Pastor Rodney, he got up and preached a message about like what are the things worth fighting for. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there like the first half of the message, I'm mad.
You ambushed me.
Like, hey, you did this. I know it now. You got me here for this exact reason. Yeah. February 7th, 2018, sitting there mad. And then all of a sudden I start bawling my eyes out because I'm like, you gotta know. I know. Okay, I'm so sorry. And I'm like,
I love it.
I can't even get a year old.
I just wanted a break.
But then it was such a breath of fresh air to not have the same sort of feeling of there's no shame. I didn't feel shame.
Yeah.
I didn't feel.
You could heal.
Yeah. I was like, this is place, and people were just friendliest people I've ever seen in my life, coming up to you, shaking your hand, hugging your neck. And like, they don't know who I am.
Yeah.
For the first time, I've gone to a church where nobody knows who I am.
Yeah.
And it was liberating because
there's no expectations of you either.
No expectations. Like, I'm not the preacher's kid anymore.
Right, exactly.
I can just come be Bryan Evans, sit on a pew or sit in a chair. We have chairs. And we sit in a chair and just enjoy the sermon and go home. And so on the way home, it's kind of quiet in the car, and finally Ashley goes,
so what'd you think?
So what you think?
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, let's go next week and just see what it's like. And so what was it, 8 years later now?
Yeah, here we are, actually in Destination Church's building.
Yeah, actually, Destination Church's building. And so that started a very long healing process that I didn't even really know I needed.
Yeah.
I mean, God knew. And I didn't get involved right away. I didn't jump in and I think God knew I needed to just be for a while.
Yeah.
And then toward the end of the year, I started helping a little with the students, kind of helping. Somehow word got to Pastor Johnny Mitchum, who was leading our youth at the time. that used to be a youth pastor who's like, well, you come in, just no pressure, just come in, whatever you want to do, help with the sound booth or whatever, just it'd be great. I'm like, okay. So kind of start easing my way back in. And so then kind of some of my old thought process crept back up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, if I just start doing this long enough, I can become the youth pastor. And start youth pastor in here, and this would be a different situation. It's different. It's a non-denominational church.
Yeah.
None of other stuff is around. It's a new way of doing things, and I love it here.
Yeah.
So I was working with the students, with the youth. Also started like helping out with social media a little bit because I love social media. Been doing it quite a bit. At first, out of necessity, because I was the only one that knew anything about social media in my dad's churches and stuff. But, and so I was kind of starting to get my ground back, starting making progress again, and then so I just had Lily at the time, and we go to a marriage conference in 2019, the next year, and there's some guest speakers coming from out of town. It was a great conference, phenomenal. And I don't remember exactly what led to this situation, but at some point he came over and told, and it wasn't like part of the message or anything. It was like people were mingling around stuff, and he came over and told, actually not, he said, I don't know why, but God just wanted me to tell you that you don't have just one child. You don't have another child.
You're thinking, do we want to do that again?
Yeah, and part of it is like, do we want to do this? Part of it is like, okay, I've heard that God told me stuff so much.
Exactly.
How much can I believe this? But then I knew it, like, as soon as I felt it, like, in my heart, like, this is, because we've known we want 2 kids. Like, since we got married, we talked about it, like, we want 2 kids. And didn't think it was possible after the way the first one went down, but we talked about it and actually was, of course, terrified. I was terrified. And so finally we came to the conclusion, okay, well, if that's what God wants, then this, I mean, if he says it's going to be okay, we'll just have to trust him. And so we found out that she was pregnant in January 2020, and we were just excited.
Yeah.
Like, God's promise is coming through.
Here
we're
we
so
go.
excited. So pumped. Here we go. It's going to be a breeze. Let's do this thing. And but then we didn't really tell anybody about it yet because it's like, well, we're still very early on.
Right.
We I never want to be that person that was like, well, God gave me word to do this. I tell everybody, hey, God told me to do this, and then this flops.
Yeah.
Or this doesn't work.
Oh, wow, okay.
So partially an embarrassment for me and embarrassment for God too, on his behalf, I guess. But so we didn't really tell anybody. We set up an appointment with OB, which is very popular, very good OB. So it was a few weeks out from being able to get an actual appointment with her. So okay, we'll go see her then.
Yeah.
Find out. Well, then February comes around, and as I alluded to in our first episode, I go off to conference. I become ordained, overjoyed, top of the world, over the moon. Things spoken into my life that I'm just now today starting to realize, starting to actually see happen. I was just like on top of the world. I got having a second kid. I'm ordained. I'm really just going for it and following what God wants me to do. Come back home. I'm just like on fire. And then we go to the appointment. It was like the second week of March. We go to the appointment and they're like, well, there's some abnormalities.
Wow.
There's some things just don't quite add up. So we're going back again the next week, and I said, well, now there's no sign of you being pregnant. There's like nothing really going on. And then that night, actually miscarried. So they just leveled.
Devastated.
And again, it was like, God, I thought I was doing something here. I thought you were doing something. Where are you at in all this?
Yeah.
I quit praying.
Yeah.
It became very much I put on a face, put on a mask when I went to work.
The hurt was too soon after what you'd just been through.
Yeah. And then COVID hit, everything shut down like the next week after. So it was like, who am I going to see and talk to? Isolated, ended up getting COVID a few weeks later, and that was just being isolated from everybody.
Yeah.
that was the absolute worst because I have nothing but my brain.
Yeah.
And my brain tells me all kinds of negative things when it's just me and my brain. And yeah, so it's just, but you know what? I can't show weakness.
Yeah.
I've got to be the guy with the answers. So you take those emotions, you just shove them down. You just pack it down, put it on the face, pull a new layer of fresh paint, and you keep going. You keep moving. And that's what I did. So COVID was going on. I felt like it was a fog because it's like all this stuff happening. I'm just like, I felt numb. Things that used to excite me didn't excite me anymore.
Yeah.
Things that used to make me mad didn't make me mad anymore. I just numb. And so working on a couple months to May and started having some back pains and stuff, and it's like, let's just sciatica.
Yeah.
Google it. It's just sciatica stuff. Take ibuprofen, whatever, to use a heating pad to make it feel better. Well, then by the end of June, it got so bad where I couldn't walk like more than 10 feet without being in this like excruciating pain.
Wow.
Got a point then where I couldn't even walk without using like a walker.
Wow.
And even then it was a struggle. And so of course I couldn't work in that situation. It's a very manual job, carrying things out in the customer vehicles, load them up. It's like a hardware store, similar to Lowe's. So I couldn't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to his credit, the owner, he did say if I want to come and do some desk work and stuff, like we could figure that part out. But like even getting to work was going to be a chore because like I can't drive.
Yep.
Actually, still have to go to work to pay the bills because I'm not paying the bills.
Right.
Also, it's COVID season, like pandemic season going on. So started going to doctor's appointments and stuff. Went to ER, and they really couldn't tell me anything. The X-rays looked fine. So it just started pain management things. Like, okay, let's take pain management, but the pain pills didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
It got to a point where by the end of that year, in October, I had been 4 months now, barely leaving the recliner.
Yeah.
I slept in the recliner. I sat in the recliner all day. I'd find things occupy my time. I'd watch YouTube videos, play video games or something. But had no income.
Yeah.
Had no way of working. So actually was working extra hard. And I finally managed to make my way into our bathroom, and there was a box cutter laying, like that I used for work, laying up on the sink. Apparently took it out of my pocket and just had never put it away. And I looked at it. I started thinking, this could all just stop. And I'm no good to anybody. I can't walk. I can't provide for my family. I can't do anything. And so I picked up the box cutter and sat down on the floor. And once I sat down, it's like, okay, well, I'm down here now. Getting back up is going to be like impossible.
Yeah.
So I started thinking this thing through. I was like, okay, well, I don't want Ashley to find me. I'll be the one to find me. I definitely want Lily, our little girl, our 6-year-old at the time. I don't want her to find me. So I was trying to figure out how I could do this thing and the right person to find me. Like, do I do it, call 911 and just let EMTs come in and find me? Like, and as I'm sitting there, I start thinking through what's my daughter going to do without her dad?
Yeah.
What's Ashley going to do without her husband?
Yeah.
And they weren't. It's weird to say they weren't my thoughts.
Yeah.
Because I was done with everything. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sitting there and look at this box cutter and finally I just look up at the ceiling. I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't know the answer. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I said, so I'm making a deal with you.
Yep.
if you'll show me the way forward, if you'll show me the steps to take to get out of this, where I'm at physically and mentally and spiritually, show me how to get there. I won't end up here again.
Yeah.
And I threw the box cutter across the bathroom. And just clear as day.
Yeah.
Okay, I get up.
Yeah.
I got up, and my mindset had completely shifted to, okay, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
And so the crazy thing is, 2 days later, I'm sitting there in my recliner. The situation really hadn't changed, except for my thought process.
Your mindset,
okay, well, I could be doing something
changing.
different.
Yeah.
I looked into like Upwork, some things you could do online.
Yeah.
Because I like to write. I was good at writing, copywriting, stuff like that. I was like, I could do some like freelance work.
Yeah.
Well, I get a phone call, and it's from our executive pastor, Pastor Ricky. And he's like, hey, man, how you doing? I've been praying for you. I'm like, I'm in the recliner.
Yeah.
Just sitting here.
Right.
He said, well, how'd you feel about a job? I'm like, well, I don't know when I'll be able to get back to church because we were watching online because we had online service and stuff. But I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna work. He said, what we need is like, you could do it remotely. We just need somebody to do social media. You pretty much already doing that anyway. I had to run social media, maybe do some graphics for us and things. And you can do it like off from the home for right now until you get where you can be back in church. I'm like, and just immediately I just like, yeah.
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 And I don't care what he's like. We'll pay. I don't care what pay. He's like, I'll do it.
It's a job.
Like, it's a job. I need a job. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And so from there, it like that whole 3-day span was like a whole other shift.
Yeah.
And I think it had to get me to a point where I was willing to let all the stuff go.
So sometimes the deconstruction needs deconstructing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You know, is sometimes I think we realize, hey, this is not right. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to be this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And we start tearing apart. And like you said, you have to build something back.
Right.
But if you're not open and honest with people about what you're experiencing, what you're going through, and you're having to build it back on your own.
Oh, yeah.
Like that build back is usually slow. And a lot of times I'm not a great builder.
Yeah.
You know? And so you start building back and then life happens, a storm comes, and then you are flat on your back again. You know, I'm hearing you talk about that. And I'm thinking, I felt that. I knew that. And tell me if you felt this way as well, you know, and I'm listening to your story and I'm thinking, man, I'm some similarities I'm feeling. And, you know, I had this notion, I guess, especially growing up, that if I served God, I knew bad things could happen to me. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they weren't supposed to happen to me.
Yeah, there's hedge of protection around.
There's this hedge of protection, and then this notion of if it is happening to me, at least for me, this is kind of where I checked out on this perfection, this affirmation thing, you know, that I talked about. If it is happening or this stuff is not working for you, there's sin in your life,
right?
And so then it was this constant eradicate sin, so this stuff will work, and then it's not. I felt like I did, and it's still not working, and then God. I didn't realize it then, but God was almost, I looked at him as, you're supposed to fix this and do this for me, and I'm just supposed to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And God doesn't call us to that, you know, and so, you know, you have this moment, life-changing moment, another one, and then here's this church that you didn't even want to go to.
Yeah.
You know, reaching out, you know, after you have this real honest heart-to-heart with God saying out of the blue, we want to pay you to stay home right now and just do this. And so God starts working, right?
Yeah. That's the best way to put it. I mean, he started working. Because I remember thinking, it's like, well, if I try to build this thing back, I built it the wrong way the first time.
Yeah.
So if I try to do this on my own, and this whole time, like, nobody really knew what I was going through.
Right.
Nobody knew what I was dealing with. I didn't even tell Ashley, I didn't even tell my wife. Like, I didn't I tell anybody.
And you're ordained.
Yeah, I'm an ordained minister going through this thing.
And I was a pastor going through this. So, I mean, there's that pressure of,
it's like,
hey, we're called of God. We're not supposed to be having struggles like this.
I can't go talk to somebody about how I'm feeling. I'm having doubts about God, like being real. And, and
like, why
what he's doing.
You can't do that.
No. Back to where you're talking about how you were, every time you feel like you have sin, you pray, like growing up, like that. I went back into that mentality. It's like, okay, well, God, where have I done wrong? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I feel like I followed you as far as I could go all the way through everything. And the beautiful thing about hindsight, looking back, is I look back on it now. The job I was in the warehouse working, I worked for 13 years. It was a great job. Paid pretty good money. I got along with everybody that was there. Got along with the owner really well. So the job itself wasn't wrong. It was just that wasn't where I was supposed to be at. Yeah. And I don't believe God like makes things happen to you. Right. But I look back at the story of Job, and my life's nowhere near as bad as Job's was. Right. But I'm like, okay, well, if God can give Satan permission to mess with Job in these areas, then I mean, he could definitely use the enemy's work for good in my life. Right. And so I never would have left that job probably. Yeah. I probably would have stayed there. And looking back now and seeing what God's done since that time, I was like, well, if I never would have left that job, then I would never be doing what I'm doing now. Right. I would not have this podcast now. We don't have this podcast rolling. Yeah. And so just that temporary, uncomfortable few months, painful few months, it ended up being worth it. Yeah. Because it got me out of the place where I wasn't supposed to be at. Mm-hmm. And B, it got me to a place where I was willing to give up. Yeah. And surrender. Because we grew up, we sang that song, I Surrender All, in church.
But we don't.
I would sing it. Yeah, it was a great song, beautiful song, but it wasn't until like that moment I understood that song. Yeah. It was always I surrender some. I surrender my problems. I surrender, but at that point, it's finally I surrender all. Yeah, and that started this long process. Still in it, but I've come a long way in this process of building back, and really God did more the building back than I am. Mm-hmm. I feel like I finally gotten more direction on like it's not just go do your thing and let me bless it, but here do these things I tell you to do, and here's my structure to do.
So do you have answers for your back situation yet? Yeah,
we finally was able to get in. Got an MRI on it. Ended up going to the Neurological Institute of Savannah. They did some tests on it and stuff, and I have degenerative disc disease, as well as a bulging disc in my lower back. And look at the scans, it makes complete sense because there's two of the vertebrae that are almost completely on top of each other. Wow. They floated surgery as an option. I've always been scared of surgery, never had surgery up until I had the wisdom teeth removed. And so I'm with you. At that time, I was like, is there another option? So they actually recommended physical therapy. Try that first, see if it does anything. And so I did physical therapy for 4 months, beginning of 2021. And then became a thing where it's like I got enough mobility where I could actually do stuff. I was able to go back to church, and nothing too strenuous at first, but finally got some answers to be able to move forward with it. And I still will take the meloxicam every day, which note on that, I've not had any surgery done. I still have some back pain from time to time, but I don't take meloxicam at all anymore. Awesome. And that's not necessarily I'm trying to be brave and trying to be like I'm off but it's like it's not necessary most of the time. Yeah. For me, that's kind of a reminder in my brain is okay, God's got your back. Literally, He's sustaining you. Literally. Yeah. Just keep moving forward in Him. Once all that was kind of settled, I was doing became a media coordinator, doing the media stuff. It was kind of weird because in one way I felt like I was not doing what I was supposed to do because I'm not speaking. Youth pastor and stuff. Yeah. I didn't speak on the stage in front of anybody, much less students. I didn't do all these things, but I felt more fulfilled. Yeah. Because I was doing things I enjoy doing. Yep. I enjoy graphic design. I enjoy social media.
You're gifted at that. Yeah.
And I say enjoy social media. Social media is terrible most days. Yeah. But I enjoy working with social media.
But you know what you're doing.
Yeah. And trying to work the algorithm and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Just I nerd out on that kind of stuff. Yeah. But then, still like this isn't really a job I can do alone and pay the bills. Well, then, somebody in our church, Eddie Taylor, he's got a Taylor Ministry group. They're phenomenal people, love them to death. He texted me one day and he said, "Hey," he said, "Have you heard of Awesome Marriage?" I'm like, "What is it?"
Yeah, no.
So basically, they're a podcast, marriage podcast, and they're looking to hire somebody to do their social media too. I'm like, okay. So I found the information thing, submitted it, and that's really where I kind of found that there was another way of doing ministry outside of church.
Yeah.
I still love what I do in the church. In fact, today I do more than I was doing then even. I do a lot of our video production stuff. This studio we're in now is actually a brainchild of hoping to make that one day. This one day be a pretty awesome video studio for church use. But through that, I saw it's a podcast with Dr. Kim Kimmerling, a phenomenal podcast. Just working on that. Both, it helped me get a deeper love for podcasts because I've never been a podcast guy. I'm like, podcasts are kind of cool. Got to listen to their podcasts, and I started producing their podcasts, like doing the editing and stuff for it. Listen to other podcasts. We have guests on. I listen to their podcasts, see what they're all about.
Yeah.
So I kind of grew that aspect. I was able to work with people that were really great in social media stuff. So I got even better at doing social media. And then the whole time I'm like, I'm reading the stories people are telling us of like how we've helped save their marriage or how they've helped them come through this situation or that situation. And I'm like, this is what ministry looks like.
Yeah.
This is not a church. We're faith-based and everything, but it's not a church.
Right.
So that kind of really accelerated, I think, kind of that whole thought process shift of like ministry being like confined to a church building.
Right. It's bigger than a pulpit.
Yeah, it's bigger than a pulpit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of in the middle of all this, with Awesome Marriage called me, contact me and stuff, and me starting to work with them. And right before you called, we found we were pregnant again.
Yep.
And that was scary because we had just kind of come to think that we could do this again.
Right.
Found we're pregnant again, and so we just this time we were in a strong enough space mentally and spiritually was okay. We're just going to trust God with this.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Yeah. You weren't doing it alone this time.
Yeah, we weren't trying to do it alone, and we had people around us. We had God. We knew God was with us on our side with this. So it was a little bit shocking. With that said, it was a little bit shocking whenever we just found out that we were pregnant, had it confirmed with testing. It would be one evening actually was going about her day, and all of a sudden she had a lot of sharp pain, like in her stomach. So of course, fear. We rushed to the hospital, and they did some ultrasounds, or did ultrasound and things like that. Did some scans. And they told us that the pregnancy was ectopic.
Wow.
Which means that instead of the embryo like going where it's supposed to be, it's stuck in one of the tubes.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, is that something that can be fixed? Is that something that like what does that mean?
Yeah.
And they said, well, at this stage, if she's already having sharp pain from it, it's getting to the point where we need to act fast.
Yeah.
I said, okay, so what do we do? What do we need to do? And they said, well, we've got to get her in surgery. And at this point, the pregnancy is not viable.
Yeah.
So we have to get in surgery. We're going to take that tube. We'll still leave the other one. And I remember take the tube.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's if the embryo's stuck in the tube, if we don't take the tube, it can burst, and then that's like a lot of health problems with that.
Yeah.
And actually could die. So here I was again.
Yeah.
Faced with this, and just I felt a tug of war inside me between wanting to trust, wanting to have faith, going back to, okay, God, you got our backs. You've got this. And also, where are you at in this?
Yeah, yeah.
And so they took her back. We talked about it. We prayed together. Our pastor, Rodney, came and he prayed with us. And she went back to the surgery and told me to take about 45 minutes and it'd be done. And she wouldn't be pregnant anymore, but she'd be alive.
Right.
So I went. They took me around to the waiting area, and it was like 3 a.m. It always happens in the middle of the night when nobody else is around. Just the thing I need isolation again.
Yeah.
Because it was one of those things where like it wasn't so much a like let's sit around and see what happens things.
Right.
So I told everybody to go home. Like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
I mean,
just kind of resigned
we've
to
got
the
our
fact.
answer.
Yeah.
And so it was about 3 a.m. and they started the surgery. And I sat in their waiting room, kept watching everything. And after about 30 minutes, her mom came in. Because she's about to go into work. She was a nurse at the hospital. So she came in before shift started and just sat with me. And having her there with me, it was a huge... I didn't feel like I was doing this alone.
Yeah.
But then 30 minutes turned to 45 minutes, turned into an hour.
Wow. Now you're getting scared.
Okay, they said 45 minutes is the average.
Yeah.
It's an average. Okay. Trying to rationalize my brain.
Yep.
Hour and a half rolls by.
Wow.
I'm okay. This is twice as long as it was going to take.
Yeah. I'm running out of rationales while this is happening.
Yeah, like I run out of things. I have nothing. And it was about an hour and 45 minutes. She already had to leave to go to work. And I sit there by myself, and finally, I see the surgeon pop his head out the door, and he's just the best poker face ever. I'm like, why are you doing this? I know the options range from no baby, but have a wife to neither.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So he takes me into one of their little family like consultation rooms, and he said, "So, we couldn't find the baby."
Wow.
I said, "That's the first word out of his mouth. We couldn't find the baby." I was like, "What do you mean you couldn't find the baby? You had the ultrasound, like you saw." He said, "Well, what we did? I got in there." Started looking around, went to where it was supposed to be at, was getting ready to make the cuts, but it just wasn't there. He said, so I looked around for a few minutes, but I didn't want to like take too long. I'm like, well, you took long enough. But he said, so we got out, stitched her up. He said, I want to have another ultrasound run. I'm like, sure, okay.
It's like, okay, what's happening?
I said, but actually it's fine. He's like, yeah, she's recovering now. She's doing great. She's doing fine. But we want to have another ultrasound done because the baby wasn't there. And somehow I just knew in that moment because I went from the second most feeling of dread I've ever felt in my life to I just knew.
Yeah.
And so he took me back to where Ashley was in recovery. She was still asleep. So I was about to bounce off the walls. Couldn't wait to tell her. But she was asleep. So I started calling people, called my parents, called her parents, called our pastors. Hey, here's what's going on. They couldn't find the baby. Baby's not in the tube. We're just praying that's what I think it's going to be. And so finally she wakes up and she's just kind of, she's had this look about her. She's like, okay.
She's thinking, there's no baby.
She thinks there's no baby. She's resigned. And she said, everything go okay? I was like, I was grinning ear to ear. And she's looking at me like I'm stupid. I'm like,
what are you so happy about?
Like, why are you so happy? I thought you wanted another kid.
That's right.
But I said they couldn't find the baby. They couldn't find it. And she said, couldn't find the baby. I was like, that's what I said, right?
It's like, what does it mean?
So,
like, where's Waldo, right?
Yeah, like there are only a few places the baby could be at this stage. Right. So after she recovered, they took her back to an ultrasound, and maybe 20 minutes later, they came back and said, "Well, we have good news. The baby is not in the tube." And on a whim, we decided to do an ultrasound where the baby in the womb where the baby's supposed to be at, and it was right where we're supposed to be at.
Wow.
And I feel like this. I can't remember the doctor's vet name. I wish I could, surgeon name, but he prayed with us before he started the surgery. So I know he has to be a man of faith.
Yeah,
But I can see the excitement on his face too. Like he's like, the baby's not in the tube. The baby's right where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So this is exciting news.
Wow, dude, that's awesome.
And so it's just, and then a few months later we had our Aria.
Miracle baby.
Miracle baby. Yeah. Miracle baby, rainbow baby.
There you go.
And it's just, so now looking back at all that and with the context I have now.
Yeah.
It's just God just showed me all the ways like, hey, I'm here. I think it was a couple of years before you called me then.
Yeah.
Had 2 jobs at this point. Between the 2 jobs was making decent money, it was paying the bills.
Yeah.
There again.
Yeah.
So you called me. I was like, I haven't talked to Ryan in a while. Like,
Yeah.
Hey man, how's it going? You asked me like, hey man, you want a job?
Yeah.
My first thought was, no, I've got 2 already.
2 already.
Jobs are like Pokemon, I catch them all. You know? I have all the jobs. But I think I told you, let me think about it or something.
You did.
Let me pray about it.
You did.
And,
You did. You just let me pray about it. And I told Rachel, I said, come on, man. Do you want the job or not? Why you got to pray about it?
But I actually prayed about it.
No,
it wasn't just to get you off my back.
I'm cut up with you.
Keep down the road. But it is. So I thought about it and prayed about it, told Ashley about it. And I'm like, I'd be going into high schools and teaching kids like job skills and stuff and helping them to learn self-advocacy, how to speak up for themselves. And I'm like, I don't need a 3rd job, but it would be working with students, which I've always had a heart for doing. It'd be helping teach them job skills, and I feel like I've learned quite a bit of job skills.
You've done a few things.
I've done a few things, yeah. And then be helping them to teach them how to speak up for themselves. And that's like, as the kid that had to speak up for myself sometimes, but usually didn't, like that's something I wish I had learned.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's something to this. And so I kind of looked at my schedule and everything and worked it out. Told you I'd take it, and I got 3 jobs now, and which is better than having 0 jobs. So
it's like you said, Lord, show me something. Like, here's a job, here's a job, here's a job. Yeah. Apparently, he wanted you to work.
Yeah. Okay. He's like, you've been sitting on your butt for long enough. Get up and go to work now.
He's been letting you rest so that you can work 3 jobs later.
Yeah. Through that, I was like, I really love what I do.
Yeah.
Like, it's just all the way around. And as the company grew, Implement Matters turned to Joshua Tree, and there are other things that need to be done, and I got to a point where it was kind of fun because in the course of about 2 weeks, you called me and was asking, like, mentioning there were other things opening up for me to get into. Also, Marriage called me and said other things opening up, want me to kind of do more. And I was like, that was a very new feeling because I was so used to always having to fight and claw for everything I had.
Yeah.
It was like, here's 2 different companies, 2 different people I care deeply about that are wanting me to do more and want me to be more involved. So after a lot of prayer, I think it took 2 or 3 weeks of nonstop prayer. And thankfully, it was during our 21 days of prayer and fasting at church. So that was my big focus for that period. During that time, it also worked out for Awesome Marriage, where there's a group that they had dealt with in the past came back around and was basically offering what I was going to be doing. Mm-hmm. So as soon as I called and talked to Christina about that and told her that I was probably going to be stepping away, it was like, this is definitely a God thing because we just got in contact. Got contacted 2 days ago by this other company that, like, so God's definitely working things out for all of us. So it wasn't like I'm done, I got to go sort of thing. Yeah. It's just in seeing that even, it's like how God's orchestrating, like they're taken care of, because I was worried about just leaving them high and dry.
Yeah.
I finally got to a point where it wasn't that I was like prideful. It wasn't that I was like, I'm the best ever. But I was like, I have something to offer. Like I have talents that I can offer, and it's not behind a pulpit. It's not in typical ministry. We think of ministry,
right?
Like we've talked about before, but it's actually like it's helping people outside the church.
Yeah.
Within the church context, I help people through social media, help people through videos we produce. I produce our live stream, so I'm helping the video to go out to all of YouTube land.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to tune in to watch it. And Joshua Tree is still helping people at a different level, but we put together videos for that. And hopefully this podcast is going to help with that too.
Yeah.
And so it's just last week in our staff meeting at the church, we had a discussion. Pastor Johnny Mitchum, he asked me, he said, so where are you at today? And because he was one of the first people I really talked about to a lot of this stuff through with. I said, it's crazy to think, but 6 years ago, I was done with everything. Mm-hmm. But in 6 years' time, God's gotten into a place where I just thoroughly enjoy every part of my life. Yeah. We just bought a new house back in May. Yeah. Just so many things God's done in blessing. So now it's just, I'm at a point now, and the story's not over. I know there could be good chapters, bad chapters. I don't know what lays ahead, but just where I'm at now is like, I feel like I'm more prepared to handle the bad because I know what God's shown me through these things. Where He got us to have a new house, amazing jobs that don't really feel like jobs most of the days. And I just enjoy what I get to do, and it's amazing. And I think for me, the desert was really the deepest part of the desert between 2017, 2020 era.
I guess the bathroom floor is your quicksand, right?
Yeah, that's my quicksand.
Yeah, that's where you're sinking.
There's a war trying to pull me in pretty hard.
Down. Yeah. God has a way of getting us out.
Yeah. And through this, I've learned, I used to think God's will, you heard God's will talked about a lot. Yeah. I used to think it was like train tracks where it's like, you get on God's will and you're going, buddy. You're going, or you hop on the train somewhere. Yeah. And you might get left behind. Yeah. But I've come to learn it's more like a road trip. Yeah. Yeah. There's a way God wants you to go. Yeah. And that you should go. And if it's a multi-lane highway, you could be in left lane, be in the right lane. There you have options within context of like where you're heading. Mm-hmm. And then just because you get off at a rest stop to take a break and you're tired of driving, you're like, are we there yet? I'm done with this. Yeah. Then you can just hop back in the car and just get back on it and go. I mean, and just whole different way of looking at everything now. Yeah. I mean, so for me, like ministry now in context is just helping people and pointing people to the. I don't have to have all the answers. I know the one who has all the answers. Yeah. And so I don't feel that pressure anymore of trying to be that guy that knows all the things. Now, I like to try to learn things. If there's a problem, I'm going to do my best to solve it. Yeah. We'll figure out a way to fix it.
Thank God, because like we talked about before, I can give you a lot of stuff to think about. Like, hey, can we do this? And you're like, sure.
I pace around the house, scratching my head.
Yeah, I was like, oh, wow. What I just agreed to. Yeah. Dude, that's awesome, man. I knew some of that. I didn't know all of that.
Most of that I've never said publicly.
Well, here you go. So episode 2 and 3, we've just shined a light on a lot of stuff there.
Oh, yeah.
Our biggest desire is that you can see that God is always working, and we don't always see it. He's not a respecter of persons. What He's done for Bryan, what He did for me, He'll do for you as well. And so we're excited to tell our stories. It's kind of raw. Yeah. I think we've both been a little nervous. Yeah. Maybe we won't get any hate mail. But I think we just appreciate y'all being on the ride with us, and we're kind of excited to see where this goes. So I think we've talked about next episode. We'll kind of do some recap, talk a little bit about what we learned from this. And so I want you to definitely stay tuned with us. Episode 4, where we kind of recap our stories and some of the things that we learned. And And we're starting to get some of your stories in as well. We'll talk about maybe a little bit of those. And so we just appreciate you hanging out with us. And we're excited to see where this thing goes. Let's get out of the desert, right?
Definitely.
All right. Awesome.